Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News. I am David Obowasile. The headlines. Governor Obiano urges Southeast and South-South governors to ensure effective implementation of World Bank projects. Cashew farmers charged to register with Ministry of Agriculture to facilitate exports of their produce. Nigerian Air Force destroys Boko Haram hideouts at Bakassi. India's Supreme Court overturns ban on women from entering holiest Hindu temples in the country. Now the news in details. Governor William Obiano has called on governors of the Southeast and South-South to intensify efforts towards effectively implementing of the programs of the World Bank for the overall good of the people. Governor Obiano made the call during a dinner organized by the state government for the World Bank team and other participants at the country program portfolio review exercise held in Oka. Government House correspondent Kenneth Kwofoma was at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, where the dinner was held, and tells us more.
After a two-day intensive program that reviewed World Bank-assisted projects in the Southeast and South-South, Governor Obiano treated the participants to dinner. The evening also provided the opportunity for the World Bank team to interact on a lighter mood with heads of line ministries in the state, where the bank is intervening on other issues which the review did not capture. The guests were also exposed to the hospitality and rich cultural heritage which Anambra State is known for, as the state cultural troupe performed to their delight. Governor Obiano in his remarks said it is rather appalling that the bank has about $440 million undisbursed for the Southeast and South-South due to the inability of some governments to meet the minimum requirements to draw the funds. He maintained that Anambra under his leadership was able to emerge as the best performing in implementation of World Bank programs because of the strategies and coordination which his government has put in place, and commended his team for the excellent performance. The governor said his government will take the discussions at the meeting to strengthen its capacity towards development agencies' partnerships.
This is a professional team outside Nigeria. We believe in transparency, which we believe in, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. Let me use this medium to appeal to the federal government and whoever is listening to me to please ensure that this window opened by the World Bank is fully actualized. World Bank has assessed us, and they believe that despite all the challenges, that we still deserve to get over $3 billion.
The World Bank Country Director for Nigeria, Mr. Rachid Bemesoud, observed that the two-day review activity reflected government's eagerness to engender a paradigm shift from the way things were done before, and commended Governor William Obiano for providing quality leadership that has made partnership with the state seamless. He also revealed that they had toured the various erosion sites in the state and seen the massive devastation wreaked by the disaster, promising that the World Bank will assist the state intervene in more erosion sites.
Thank you very much for this warm welcome, warm hospitality. We are very much delighted that to be here with the state with a great leader who has been really forthcoming and ensuring that the Anambra State is the best performing state in the Southeast, South-South.
The Minister of Finance, Hajia Zainab Ahmed, represented by Mrs. Uzokoye, said the federal ministry will avail the states every technical assistance required to achieve appreciable level of disbursement for the project.
We came here, we had robust discussions. This is the first time I've seen a CPR where top government officials sat down for 2 days, brainstorming, not even getting up from their seats for the whole 2 days.
The State Commissioner for Economic Planning, Budget and Development Partners, Mr. Mark Okoye, revealed that participating states during the review exercise resolved to increase portfolio coordination to align World Bank programs with the state's development plans, intensify peer learning strategies, increase stakeholders' ownership of the projects, as well as evolve strategies to sustain disbursements despite the inevitable change of government.
We had a few resolutions. One of them was to increase portfolio coordination in the state to ensure that these programs are aligned to the state's development plan. The second was to improve peer review among states. We've realized that homegrown solutions that you find in a boy that you find in Anambra share with our brothers and sisters in rivers are easier to implement and accommodate.
As is customary for hosts to fet their guests, Governor Obiano at the dinner personally took the guests to the buffet where he served them. From the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, I am Kene Chukwuofoma, reporting for ABS News.
Anambra and the Enugu states have agreed to peaceful resolution of all boundary disputes. A meeting between the two deputy governors, Dr. Nkemo Okeke of Anambra State and Barrister Cecilia Eziulo of Enugu State, who are the chairmen of their state's boundary committees respectively, took place yesterday. We have the details. Boundary stakeholders in the two states and the federal government attended the event held at Enugu State Government House, Enugu. Deputy Governor Okeke, who reiterated that the National Boundary Commission does not establish demarcation to cause enmity among communities, but to foster developments in the individual communities. Dr. Okeke further stressed the need for such boundary meetings as it will lead to peaceful resolutions.
I believe that the peaceful solution to boundary issue stems from continuous discussion. We must sit down and continue to talk. And from the talking, maybe one day we'll reach an agreement or settlement. I always say that issues of boundary is not that a wall will come up. There is no wall that will come up.
The Enugu State Deputy Governor Barrister Eziulo commended the National Boundary Commission, Office of the Surveyor General of the Federation, and members of the Boundary Committee of both states for their relentless efforts geared towards definition, determination, and demarcation of all interstate boundaries. Barrister Eziulo expressed optimism that the meeting will effectively resolve all boundary disputes affecting Anambra and Enugu states.
The importance of your mission in the state at this time cannot be overemphasized. Being a further step towards the resolution process, it is hoped that at the end of this meeting, most disputes along the border corridors of the two sister states would have been resolved using facts that are irresistible and incontrovertible.
The Director General of National Boundary Commission, Dr. Mohammed Ahmed, represented by the Director Interstate Boundary, Mr. Adamu Adaji, said that so much efforts have been made to solve the boundary disputes between the two sister states, adding that demarcation exercised by the Commission is to ensure unity between communities and states to help them determine the limits of each road project they undertake.
So much has been done on this boundary. And I would add that it is high time that we sort this boundary once and for all, so that we can have the territorial limits of each of the two states delimited clearly once and for all.
Copies of communiques were exchanged between the two state deputy governors, while the traditional ruler of Ibitolo and his local government chairman, the traditional ruler of Ifteduno, Dr. Emeki Ilono, among others, witnessed the occasion. A three-day stakeholders meeting on agro-business and women empowerment has ended in Awka with a call on cashew commodity farmers across the state to register with the Ministry of Agriculture, Mechanization, Processing and Export for link with the National Body for International Export. Organized by Whispering Hope Africa Initiative in conjunction with the state government, the meeting featured selected organic crop farmers from the 3 senatorial districts of the state. Correspondent Ebeleze has the report.
While declaring the meeting open, the manager of the State Agricultural Development Program, Mr. Jude Nwankwo, announced that the state government is presently concluding plans to commence the exportation of Anambra rice. While describing the meeting as apt, Mr. Nwankwo noted that there is still room for improvement in the state agricultural sector as opportunities are numerous.
Thank God for our friendly governor who is doing a lot. We see the people like you to add to what he's doing. You now, you can know exactly how much we are producing in the state, the various opportunities, the farmer population, the areas who needed help, the areas that needed some intervention, the areas we are making progress.
In a Guildway message, The principal implementation partner, Ecological Organic Agriculture, Southeast, South-South Geopolitical Zones, Mrs. Akudo Onunwa said, organic agriculture is all about doing it the right way for environmental protection. The Director of Extension Services in the Ministry and facilitator of the meeting, Mrs. Ifeinwa Uzoka, urged participants to listen attentively and step down the knowledge garnered to boost the production of organic produce, which, according to her, has more health benefits. Earlier during a paper presentation, an agro-business professional from the United States of America, Mrs. T. Thompson, noted that she was in the state to close gap with sustainable agri-development for those engaged with or women micro-enterprises, emerging enterprises, small-scale farmers cooperative or association.
You have to think differently about what you're doing with the commodity because you are what you believe you are.
In their different contributions, some of the participants included the chairman, Obiz Cluster Nanka, Mr. Cletus Ubohi, and a cassava farmer from Ebariam, Mrs. Eukeria Uhoha, described the meeting as rewarding.
In anyone you're doing, you know when the appropriate time to plant it so that you will get a good harvest.
From the Agricultural Development Program Office in Oka, I am Ebele Eze, reporting for ABS News.
And the Anambra have been urged to always identify with the less privileged to help alleviate their plight. An Abga chieftain and aspirant for the State House of Assembly in the 2019 elections, Mrs. Peace Chine, gave this charge when she visited the Nteje remand home for the mentally challenged. Correspondent Kenneth Kutukwode has the report.
Mrs. Chine, who was accompanied to the home by some of her acquaintances and family members, was received by the coordinator of the home, Reverend Sister Oluchukwunwachi, the inmates and workers who were beaming with smiles and enthusiasm. Their visitor brought various items, including bags of rice, cartons of noodles, tubers of yam, toiletries, among others. Receiving the items, Reverend Sister Nwachi explained that the home has been in operation for over 4 years through the initiative of the wife of the state governor, Chief Mrs. Ebele Chukwu Obiano, and disclosed that 48 mentally challenged inmates are currently at the center, and thanked Mrs. Chine for identifying with them. Mrs. Chine, who personally interacted with the inmates while presenting the items to them, noted that such gesture has become an integral part of her life. According to Mrs. Chine, she has devoted herself to serve the people and help uplift their standard of living and development. She appreciated the wife of the state governor, Chief Mrs. Obiano, for having the love and will in establishing and sustaining the home.
It's coming. The set time is now. God will bless you. I am often.
In their various remarks, Engineer Prince Akabwe and Mr. Michael Chine, who were on her entourage, described Mrs. Chine as a philanthropist who always identifies with the needy and gives back to society.
She's a lady who has shown an outstanding performance in her business, which I know that will also reflect in the political leadership she has been vying for to represent our people, the people of Obisi, Okasa 2 constituency.
It is an integral part of her life. So we want to support her to achieve this dream, and when she is achieved, I will believe that the mankind will smile.
Members of the entourage sang and danced in jubilation while praising the governor's wife for lofty achievements at the home. From the Nteje remand home for the mentally challenged, it's been Kenechukwu Chukwudi for ABS News.
Despite the persistent downpour throughout the season, work is still ongoing at the Ukpo Bypass Erosion Control Project. The erosion control work at the site that had claimed residential buildings and economic trees around the area, as well as posing a major challenge to the Ukpo Bypass Road, is being executed by the state government. Correspondent Chubuzo Bidike was at the site to monitor the level of work and now reports.
Work at the site, ABS crew observed that the road has been made motorable, while flood is still affecting some of the work done so far to arrest menace, and workers were seen struggling to reclaim the damaged portions. Speaking to the ABS, a member of Ukpo Improvement Union, Mr. Chinedu Nanyelugo, expressed delight with the constant progression of work and advised the contractor to stick to the use of standard materials to meet up with the specified project plan and schedule, While pleading for the fast tracking of the project, Mr. Nnayelugo pointed out that the road is the only secured route linking the community and the outside world, urging the contractor to do more to enable them to unite with their relatives ahead of the Christmas celebration.
My appeal to the state government is for them to disturb the contractor to fasten the job, so that things can finish before Christmas, because we have no other road. It's the only road that we are using now.
Also speaking, an affected resident of the area, Mrs. Virginia Aguna, recalled the beginning of the menace, which she said has affected her building and washed away the grave of her husband, leaving cracks on the walls, and appreciated the state government for the control work plan and appealed for regular monitoring by relevant authorities to ensure full compliance.
Ana m ekene Chineke ekene etu esi wee chetagodo anyị maka na ebiro m ebi ụnọ ife na-ewute nkịta ụnọ gbawacha agbawa steepụ ya niile fancha niile ọdịda.
Responding, the site engineer, Engineer Abdullahi Akilu, while appreciating the state government, assured that the project will meet the needed standards and as well be delivered on schedule.
Trying to fast track the work, but just because of lights, and if you can see the level of the work, now we are even fast tracking more than into the way we are expecting it. So as soon as it's possible, the contract will be ended.
From Ukbo in Dunukofia local government area, Chibuzo Obidike, ABS.
The Nigerian Air Force destroys Boko Haram hideout. For this and more stories after the break.
This is Anambra. The government of Anambra State invites you to the unveiling of Anambra Compendium on Monday, the 1st of October 2018 at Oma Event Center, opposite Alex Ekweme Square, Awka, Anambra State, by 12 noon. Chief host, His Excellency Chief Willie Obiano, Governor, Anambra State. Chairman, His Royal Majesty, Igwe Alfred Nnaemeka Achebe Agbogidi, Obio Furniture. Chief Unveiler, Mr. Nnamdi Okonkwo, Managing Director, Fidelity Bank PLC. Come, let's celebrate our heritage.
You're welcome back. The Air Task Force Operation Lafiodere has destroyed a Boko Haram terrorist hideout at a settlement known as Bakassi near Daba Masra on the fringes of Lake Chad in the northern part of Borno State. Similarly, the ATF, in close coordination with troops of 145 Battalion Nigerian Army, also repelled a Boko Haram attack at Gachiga. The attack at Bakassi was carried out following days of intelligence surveillance and reconnaissance missions that led to the identification of a group of buildings and makeshift shelters in the settlement that were being used by the terrorists at the tactical headquarters from where they launched attacks against troop positions. Accordingly, the location was attacked by a Nigerian Air Force Alpha jet aircraft, leading to damage of some of the structures and neutralization of several terrorists. From the business, the federal government has signed a contract with a German company for the upgrade and automation of mining cadastral office operations to online application, e-coding, and archiving. The contract also involves the establishment of 6 geopolitical offices. Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, Abubakar Buhari, says the contract, worth $400 million, is funded by the World Bank. At the signing ceremony in Abuja, key actors in the deal say reliable, transparent mineral licensing regime represents an essential component for the promotion of investments in the mineral sector. The organizers of the Next Titan reality TV show have urged Nigerian youth to be focused and relentless in pursuit of entrepreneurial goals. They said this recently during season 5 of the show held at Oriental Hotel, Lagos. The reality show is aimed at giving young entrepreneurs an opportunity to display their creativity and talents. Speaking during the event, the managing director of a bank, Dr. Ife Sekibo, said the level at which Nigeria's population had grown over the past years had brought about high unemployment rates. Advising youth to hook up good mentors, Sekibo said a mentor should not only be a person that is physically present, but also any set of values that could make them achieve their dreams. He urged contestants to always ask for more, as anything given to them out of another person's free will not be enough to take them far in life. And we move to the foreign scene now where India's Supreme Court has overturned a decades-old ban by religious authorities to forbid women from entering one of the holiest Hindu temples in the country. The Sabrimala Ayyappa temple was one of the few temples in India that barred entry to women aged between 10 and 50. An estimated 1 million Hindu pilgrims travel to Sabrimala temple in the southern state of Kerala annually. The ban on women devotees was being upheld by the Travancore Devastation Board, which manages the famous Sabrimala Ayyappa temple. The ban, defended by the government and conservative Hindu bodies, came under legal scrutiny in 2016 after the Young Lawyers Association filed a petition seeking entry for women. Lagos will play host players from across the world as the International Tennis Federation approved circuit. The Lagos Open Tennis serves off this weekend. Already scores of emerging tennis players from different countries of the world have been arriving ahead of the event, which will be played in the next 2 weeks at the Lagos Lawn Tennis Club, TBS Onikon. Some of the players who have arrived are Toka Voka, Paulina Jazes-Braska, Claudia Coppola, Diana Maria Mihel, Felipe Galede, Zoe Kruega, Rico Goro, Nigerian-born British player Tiffany William, Various Iskova, Fino Cordino, Alexandra Rile from USA, among others. These players came into Lagos with their coaches and parents. Qualifying matches for future four stars on September 29, with the main draw commencing on October 1 and the final on October 6. The main draws for future 5 second leg will commence on October 8, with the grand final set for October 13, where Lagos State Governor Mr. Kingwumi Ambode is expected to declare the tournament closed. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging onto our website, www.absradiotv.com, or like us at Facebook at www.facebook.com@Anambra ABS Radio Television, or follow us on Twitter at ABS Radio TV. Now, before we go, the headlines again. Governor Obiano has urged Southeast and South-South governors to ensure effective implementation of World Bank projects. The governor was speaking during a dinner organized for the World Bank team at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia. Cashew farmers have been charged to register with Ministry of Agriculture to facilitate export of their produce. And Nigerian Air Force has destroyed Boko Haram hideouts at Bakassi. India's Supreme Court has overturned ban on women from entering holiest Hindu temples in the country. On behalf of this team here, I am David Okwasile. The weekend show continues after now.